shit's been happening. I think my last video I posted was about like the fake activists here in Portland or something like that. Maybe. Oh no. The last video I posted was about strange fruit and the black men and the man of color and the woman who had been found and hung. And it turns out that the one that was close to LA, I can't remember the name now, but the one that was really close to LA, it turns out that one was declared a suicide by the authorities, even though the family said he wasn't suicidal, which, I mean, in that situation, it's hard to say. The doctors say that he had got treated for, schizophrenic episodes where voices in his head were telling him to kill himself. So, if that's true, then it's not too far-fetched that he may have actually punched himself. And it's really sad, and that's another aspect of our community that we need to address is our mental health, because I know a lot of times in black households, it's not very, mainstream, I guess, to talk about mental health issues and, one's individual mental health issues. And I will say that I have my own mental health issues that I've had to deal with, and I know that other people in my family have had to have mental health issues as well, even though they might not have been diagnosed properly. It's something that, I think a lot of black families deal with, and a lot of black families, don't really address that head on as strong as they should, because I know that personally for me, once I started addressing my mental health issues, like my life became so much better. It became so much easier to cope with stress and with hurdles and obstacles. So yeah, I would highly recommend it to anyone. Just go see a therapist, just check in, let them know what's going on in your life. If you feel like, what you got on your plate is too much for you, that's what therapists are for. And I know a lot of black families are just religious, and they say, hey, just pray, and sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you need somebody to talk to. So, yeah, if it was suicide, then hey, I'm glad that they found out what's going on. But if the family just really doesn't think that he would ever do that, then I'm with the family, because, yeah, family knows better than anybody, and if their instincts are telling them something's amiss, then probably something is amiss. So, but I'm having a fantastic time, keeping up with everything, even though it's not the best of news. It is, a very important time, and I feel like I was born for this moment, and that this moment is, a culmination of my life's entire work. Basically, with all the studies that I've done in terms of, I get my bachelor's degree in political science, and I've got a master's degree in economics and political science go pretty much hand in hand. So yeah, I feel like all the papers I've ever written, every single rant I've ever gone on, every single, argument I've had with someone that's gotten out of control, I feel like I'm totally justified now, and you all owe me a fucking apology. But I won't hold you to it, honestly. I'm not a sore loser, or I'm sorry, I'm not a bad winner. Good sportsman. One thing that's weighing heavy on me is Breonna Taylor. I mean, they haven't even brought her killers to justice whatsoever, and I know now that her name isn't trending anymore in the news, and that's not in the Twitter feeds or whatever it is where everything's trend on social media, and that's not acceptable. She deserves justice, and we can't just forget about these things just because it's not trending on Twitter anymore. That's not acceptable. We need to continue to fight for justice for Breonna, because she was killed in her sleep. She was shot 8 different times. That's not anything that we can just rest on our laurels about. Not only that, but, all the other victims of police brutality whose killers haven't been brought to justice, like Elijah McCain. He was just going out to buy some tea, and he was wearing a mask, and he got targeted, and he got tortured to death, almost just like George Floyd did. Except for whatever reason, they injected him with ketamine, and that's a normal police practice, which You've got to be fucking kidding me. How are the police allowed to administer fucking ketamine as a tactic? Don't make no goddamn sense, that's for fucking sure. I hope that, that they bring justice, but honestly, the way things are going, y'all, I just don't see it happening. I see a lot of gestures, and I see a lot of fake woke bullshit, and I see a lot of corporations making statements, but I don't see anything changing. I don't see anything changing. I don't see police being defunded or disbanded for the most part. I mean, some places have decided to cut their budgets, but well, that's just not enough. The police are way too militarized. We need to disband the police immediately, because more harm is coming of this than good. And the police have yet to be able to control themselves whatsoever in any manner that is professional. Especially with the protests, they continue to brutalize peaceful protesters, and they continue to gas them and beat them with sticks and use brutal weaponry on just regular civilians, and this is ridiculous. This is out of control. The police have no self-restraint whatsoever. They can't even handle peaceful protesters. So you're expecting them to be able to handle very real hostile situations without blowing the lid? No. I don't believe that whatsoever. So I know in Portland here, there's just crackdown every single night, but people still go back out there, and to be honest with you, that's what we should be doing. Another thing I want to be honest about is that I have not been out there every single night, or hardly at all. I just told you guys my schedule, and yeah, it's not really feasible for me. And not only that, but I help out in other ways, so I don't necessarily need to be out on the streets. But I miss being out in the streets. I miss heckling the cops. I miss, protesting, marching, that feeling of solidarity and everything like that. But it's just impossible with my schedule and my time frame right now. So I hope the protests keep going, because when all this is over and I have my evenings back, I definitely want to get back out in the streets and back to protesting.